we are here with the icon Anthony Michael Hall to talk all about Reacher Season 3, which you are so insanely good in.
Thank you.
I am obsessed with your role. And I imagine, just in general, I imagine you get so many pitches coming across your desk every day. What made you say yes to this one?
Well, thank you, Samantha. It's great to be with you. You know what? This came about because I actually connected with Nick Santora, the great creative showrunner. And he's a brilliant guy. He's a guy that started out as a lawyer and very much like David Kelly, created an incredible life for himself as a showrunner and executive producer. So Nick was kind enough to take a meeting with me, and he told me that they had me in mind in the writer's room to play the part. And then I did a customary screen test everywhere, anyway. And it went from there. And it was a great opportunity. So I went last summer to Toronto, and then we had the actors strike, of course, and then that put like a 4-month block in there. So we resumed in November, and we shot till beginning of last summer. So it was the show that took a year to make, pretty much, but it was a great experience.
And it's all paying off because it's like the #1 show on Prime Video right now,
Thank
right?
God. Yeah, that's awesome. It's great news. I just found out the numbers. I think it's reached 54.6 million people.
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Yeah, grateful.
As we know, so much of your early Hollywood career was rooted in comedy. Do you enjoy getting to play darker roles like the one you play in Reacher?
I do. When I was growing up, Samantha, a lot of my favorite actors still are, like Jack Nicholson or even Christopher Walken, people that, could go light to dark. But it's also, I think, important to inject some humor into the character. So when I play villains, it is a lot of fun. You can kind of just really go for it and let it all hang out, and then hopefully insert some humor and some lighter moments too.
Yeah. Well, when the season starts, we're led to believe that Beck is the antagonist, but as it progresses, we learn that Xavier Quinn, otherwise known as Julius McCabe, is kind of the real bad guy of the season.
Right.
But that doesn't mean Beck's hands are clean either.
Right,
Would you consider him a villain?
Oh, definitely. I mean, he's a gun runner, and it's ultimately revealed, as you said, and he's sort of exposed. But there's also like a ticking clock to it, which makes it really interesting. Because the guy's living like the Great Gatsby at the beginning, and you think, actually, wait a minute, this guy can't be just a rug importer. He's doing too well. So it was really a great role, very dynamic. And then there's a great arc that Nick gave me, which comes from the book, which is this kind of sad relationship he has with his son. He's kind of estranged from his son. And having just had my son last summer, it really gave me food for the work. I knew what it felt like to be a father and to love your son. So that was a really interesting thing about it for me, playing a villain, but also having this other dynamic unfold. And just a great show, such a great team we had up in Toronto, and I'm just really grateful to be a part of it.
Beck finally has this emotional breakthrough with his son in episode 7, which was such beautiful acting from both of you.
Thank you.
It really
I haven't
was.
seen it. I'm glad you think so.
Yeah, it was great. Well, what did you think about that scene, and why was that so important to the evolution of your character?
I was cruel, cold, distant. I did it on purpose, Richie. If losing a wonderful mother damaged you so much, maybe it wouldn't be so bad losing someone like me.
Well, kind of for the reasons we just touched upon, I grew up in my own life without my biological father. Then my mother remarried, and I had a great father, my stepfather, who adopted me. And so I could say that I actually experienced both in my life. I came from a single mom, and at the same time, a nuclear family with my father and my sister being born after they got married. So that was just, really interesting to draw upon that stuff,
But no one gets training on how to be a dad unless you get it from your own dad. I didn't.
But I also felt like in my own life I had been what Richard was too. I was kind of curious about my own father. I didn't actually meet him till I was about 22 years old, and that's a whole other story. But it was really interesting to be able to delve and draw from your own life and give it to the work, and that's what one of the things I try to do. So it was really great role for all those reasons, But he is a criminal, he's a gun runner for sure,
He's a very layered man.
Yeah, layered. That's a nice way of putting it. Yeah.